I'm into a fish now, and welcome to Angling For You. You join me today at Birkwood Fisheries, and if you watched me last week I was catching shallow. Now at the end of that video I told you that we were going to do another video, and that video was a little bit of an addition to that session, and that is catching with a free line bait. Now today I've been feeding obviously this swim up with the 4mm pellets shallow, and all I've done now is moved across to a dog biscuit, and we've got that free lined which we'll go into, and we're literally just balancing that on the water, which again we'll go into once we've got this more detail, once we've got this fish in. So I know that this video already is going to be controversial because there's a lot of people that are a bit opposed to surface bait fishing and things like that, and I you know, it's one of them. I think it's great fun, and you know, as long as you're not throwing tons and tons of bait in and loads of bait, then you know, I can't see anything wrong with it personally. But it's like a nice fish to start off with. Now obviously we've got these fish competing for the smaller pellets, and those small pellets do come in still fishing this method, which we'll get into when we get this fish in. We're slightly more geared up than we did in the last video. This is like a teal 12 elastic elite, and this is just, it's not miles stronger if I'm honest. It's light enough to cruise out a swim. If it powers up a little bit more than the 11 hollow does, and that's just because these fish usually that you catch on dog biscuits tend to be a bigger stamp, as this one is as well. Another nice fish. Seems like all nice fish today that we've had. Glyn just putting a cheeky smile towards me, one of my friends' dads who comes on sessions with me. I think he thinks I've been paying somebody today. But like I said in my other video, if you get the fish here and you keep them here, then you're in for a good session. He's putting up a good account of himself, this lad. And again, he's still not ready. I do apologise if we get some interruptions. We have got somebody that's looks like they're going to come around and have a chat with us, so we'll see what they see if they do or not. It's another nice fish. Seems like everything we've had today has been a nice stamp. Let's get him back. On the rig. So as you can see, I was aiming for, got a teal elastic on. It's slightly a grade heavier than the red that we used last week's episode, and pretty much we're free lining that with about 3 foot's worth of line, and we've got a little dog biscuit on a PR, no it's not, it's a KKMB size 12 with a band. I will just lift up. This is what I'm using, Hero Mixer. I always use that. It's about £2.10 a bag. I can't believe actually people give that to the dogs because it's crazy, but it seems to dissolve after a certain time into nothingness, which is why I use it for obviously fishing with. So what we're trying to do, we want to have that. We're looking for fish to start off with. We're not just random. We are actually looking for fish. But on the other hand, we want to try and get them into some sort of area. If I see one that's just there, then I'll drop it near it and get it to try and take it, almost like a little bit of a mugging kind of thing. But what I'm trying to do is get them into some form of area to try and catch them. So I'll feed the odd dog biscuit. One coming up to it now, and there we go, straight away. And that takes no time at all, and we're into another fish. And that's how dangerous it can be. And like you see, we didn't need to do anything, just dangle it on the water. But as I was saying, I will feed the odd dog biscuit to just sort of show them what it is. But really, I try to feed the fours to try and maintain that sort of bait going in, to get interest of getting fish into the peg. And then when the fish are there, that's when I'll look at getting those odd dog biscuits in to try and tempt them. As you can see, it's when you've had the fish there, and this is why I want to show you it after last week's episode of the shallow, because it's just such a good method of when they're there. It really, and it usually gets the better fish. I mean, they're usually a good stamper fish when you get them. It's usually those fish that are cruising on top of the water, and not to mention it's just good fun. And I know I'm going to get the odd people that are going to be sort of moaning in the comments that, you know, it's not proper fishing and all that business, but that's their opinion, and I'm just here to help you catch fish. And not everybody's a match fisherman, that people just want to pleasure fish. I think if you're not kicking it and throwing it all over the place, then why not? It's just a way of catching, and it's refined in a way that it's not. You're putting a proper rig together. It's not bodged or anything like that. It's another nice fish. I don't think it's too big. Maybe sort of, I don't know, 4 or 5 pound maybe. Never can tell until they come up. Sometimes they surprised me today. They've all been a decent stamp of fish. It's just about getting that swim going first, and when you see that the super shallow, yes, you can fish a jigger float and catch them on the pellet, but it's so fun to catch them. It's like a nice common. It's almost like it's got a little bit of a silveriness to it. Very quick onto that. It just proves sort of how deadly it is. There's sort of 2 puttings in there on it. And I do try and aim for fish if there is fish, and I do see fish sort of on the surface, then I will aim for them. But generally, if I try to have a patch that I still feed, and that patch they usually sit over. But this Pro, again, this is on this 018 Pro Gen line, and again, like I said in the other video, and it's such a great line, so much confidence in it. And again, it's another nice fish, hooked perfectly in the side of the lip there, just no problem whatsoever getting that hook out. Nice size 12, lots of strength in those KKMBs, and again, an absolute stunning fish. I mean, what a beautiful fish, colours on that, just absolutely fantastic. Let's get him back, see if we can have another one. Right, so what you want to do is lift your pole up and just rest it so that bait's just on the surface. And then whenever you see sort of something swirl anywhere near you, that's when you want to drop in. Right, so we've got Glyn, it's just come over, and this is just hopefully going to demonstrate how easy it is to catch these fish once you've got them there. So Glyn's just keeping that tight line as we were doing before. There's no striking needed or anything like that. He's just going to wait for that fish to come and just take the bait and go for it. Should be no See if we can put a bait close to it. It's not bad. So what we're doing, Glenn, is, so if you see them to the left there, just move it slightly to the left and just try and drop it where they are. Can you see that swirl? If you move on to where they are, that's it, and then they'll see that. I think he's seen it. Sometimes you have to shuffle close, sometimes I think he'll see that. He's round there, isn't he? He's behind it. Oh, no strike, just, that's the hardest thing, just stay still, yeah, dead still. And as soon as it takes it, it'll swim off. Don't worry about any of them bites. When it wants it, they'll just take it in one go. Such a exciting way to fish, isn't it? when they're sat there.
Oh, well, I've never fished this way before, so.
Which is a perfect example of.
It's trying, when you see it go, it's trying not to strike.
It is, yeah. It's
said don't strike, and all you want to do is when you see it disappear.
Yeah, it's a completely different. You'll know when you get a proper one, it'll pull your rod, your tip of your pole down. It'll be straight with elastic. All you need to do is turn your pole over to the right and sink it so it don't go over near that line that's on your left, and there she goes. That's it. Sink that tip, and that's it. She's on, and that's easy. That just proves that Glenn's obviously never fished this method, as he's just said. This is first time on my box, first time on my pole, and because we've got them in that sort of feeding frenzy now. Just wait for him to come back a bit. Take that bit off and make it a bit easier. And Glenn's obviously playing that just as I would do. He's taking his time, and it's straight onto that feed. There's no rushing or anything needed when you're trying to catch them on this method. It's just putting them on top and just using a little bit of fishcraft of where they are. Should be able to get him on his top kit, I think. A little bit different to yours, the pullers are on side instead of on the bottom, yeah. Which is the only difference.
Go for a minute, let's see where we are before
put that on, that's straight behind me.
Putting up a good account of himself, Glenn. That's the only downside with this one, is that you have about 3 foot of line to play with. Oh, nice fish. Lovely fish. That's that. This is again what we're saying, where we trust this ProGen line and this KKMB hook that just so strong stuff. He's not ready. They did this on me. You feel like they're ready and they're gonna get a second wind and keep going. Another couple of strips and she'll be in net, I think. Not seeing it yet. Oh, not seeing it yet. It's exciting. Come on, fish. One thing we've found fishing, and lovely mirror, is all the fish today fought really well. I don't know if it's a combination of that water and Glenn's trying to play a bit of ninja netting like I was doing earlier on. I actually got it in the net earlier on and then it swam back out. It was like a double and it didn't fit in net, but it like reverse shuffled out. So we've seen it, so it's a nice mirror, but this is just proving that, you know, Glenn's first time he's ever fished this method on somebody else's tackle, and hopefully he's going to put this in back at net. Hold your net further back. If you hold it further back, then you'll able to shuffle your net out faster. That's it. Oh, beautiful in the net. Lovely. Let's move that camera angle and see if we can get him holding it up. Right, so just having a look at it. Beautiful fish, and these are the kind of fish that we can catch using this method. Lovely little fish. Nice belly on him.
Beautiful.
Let's get him back, and I'll get back on to the box. Right guys, so I'm just going to go into how I hook these. Now, with the normal pellets, I generally just put them on by hand, and that just takes a little bit of practice. But if not, and this goes for normal pellets, you can use one of these tools. They'll do look a bit crazy. What I'm going to try and do is get it close enough to the camera that you can see. So these tools are aimed for getting the bands to expand, so then you can put your bait on. So where your band is there, just put the teeth through so it sits on. It's quite difficult to show on camera. So it's on the teeth, and you push it almost like you're pushing a needle, and that'll open that up, as you can see. And then with these pellets, these are quite big obviously, so I've got size 12, so I'll push it right down to the bottom so the elastic's halfway up, put my fingers on the elastic and then just slide it off. And then that elastic, sometimes you need to pull it down a little bit, roll it down a little bit. Right, so you can see that's hooked on nice, got a nice size 12 on there, and it's easy as that. Let's fire a bit of bait out first and see if we can have another one. So, like I say, I always go with that, with those 8mm still. Get those 8mm pellets. That's traction. There's not a lot of feed in it, and that sound, what you can see there straight away there's fish, swirls from fish that are moving towards where that bait is going in, just straight onto it. So we've got a little bit of that in there, and then I've got 2 dog biscuits, and I'm just going to put those dog biscuits out there, and that's all we're going to do. 2 dog biscuits is absolutely fine, and then we just wait for the fish to come. That's on the top. As you can see, it's nice and free lined, super easy. And you see there's fish on it straight away, so we're just going to drop it over where that swirl was and leave it on the top of the water. We've got the tip of the pole in the air, and the line to that, Not so we're lifting it off the water, but we just got a little bit of tautness to it. I'll just drop it a bit further back. Here we go. There's one there, look. And that's basically so that when they take that bait, they don't really suck it in and out, they just take it and swim off most times, because it's like a bolt rig, because you've got a bit of tautness to it. There's fish circling all the way around it. And there we go, into another fish. And it's as simple as that. It really is as simple as that. This fish is really going for it, this one. Underneath the lines. I'm just going to put a little bit more on him, this one. So just sinking the tip of the pole, gently bringing that pole back. And he's come back. That's what we wanted. And it's that simple. And it's about that regular feeding and thinking about your peg. If you just to put the dog biscuit in, you still catch, but it's just ringing the dinner bell with the other pellets and getting the fish there. And as you can see, they're still there. And this one's fighting nicely. Just get him shipped back in a little bit. I don't think he's the smallest of the day. I think this one, not too big at all, this one. But when they take that bait, they're just so not expecting it to have anything on there. But when they do take that bait, they fly off. And this one's no different to the others. As soon as they feel that hook they're gone. And it's still not a bad stamp fish. Like I said in the other video, just take your time. It's not a race. Take your time about it, and you'll get every fish in 9 times out of 10. Yeah, right. And he's up and in. See, it's the smallest boy of the day, but still a nice little fish. I'll get him on up for you. Let's find out where that pellet is. Like I say, that perfectly hooked in the lip. That size 12 just held in there so strong, that, and sharp, that KKMB hook. This is like a little short dumping mirror. Nice little fish. Sort of in the probably 4 to 5 pound bracket. Nice fish. Let's get him back in. So what we're going to do now is just repeat that process. So what I'm going to do is I always get the bait on first. The reason I get the bait on first is if I see something swirl straight away, then I can pick up and ship out, and I'm not worried that I've got to wait for a bait to put a bait on or anything like that. So get that bait on, it's ready to go. Down there, we'll get onto that catapult and put these pellets in, and then again we go to get that traction there, so hitting the water with the pellets to bring those fish into the swim. We're going to try to centralise those pellets. We're not looking for it at too far of a spread. Trying to get them all sort of together. Put those two pellets out there, two dog biscuits. And again, just have a quick check of your rig, make sure it's not tangled around the deck run or anything like that. Rig's all good to go. We get shipped out. Oh, it's red hot. It is warm today, which is obviously why the fish are so up in the water. It'd be better if we got a little bit of ripple back. getting attacked by flies. But again, try and keep that pole, that line as tight as you can. You'll find you'll hook so many more fish, and this is why it's so much more devastating to free line a pole than it is to catch floating dog biscuits on a rod. Obviously, the range you have with a rod is better, understandably, but the advantage you have with a pole is precision, and you can hold that line tight on the top, on the surface, and you can swap, change, drop, lift, and put those pellets wherever you want to put them. Those dog biscuits. There's one just a little bit further back there. Let's see if he's up for it. He's had a sniff on it. Let's see if he goes for it. We just touched it there. Just keep it nice and steady on the surface. He will be back. If he's seen that there's something on the surface, either he'll get it or one of his mates will get it. And if you haven't had a fish for probably within 2 minutes, and you want to just find a few more pellets back out there, or maybe a couple more dog biscuits just to get them interested again. And we're into another fish. Lovely take again on the top. Such a great method to fish this. So fun. We're just sourcing those fish out, moving from left to right. Just moving around that circle of where we're putting that bait in. It just keeps those fish coming. I think it's particularly big, probably similar size to what the one that they had before was. Sort of around the 3 or 4 pound mark. But still fun to catch all the same. Yeah, maybe a little bit smaller than that, around the 3 pound mark. Yeah, definitely the smallest fish of the day. But definitely welcome. There's that line just wrapped round. Oh, nearly got slapped then. He's got himself rolled in the line now. So just get that from underneath those fins and get that hook out and we're out of there. Perfect, let's get him back. So again, it's another fab method. This time of year it's lots and lots of fun. Yeah, all I can say is there's going to be controversy between it, whether people want to fish it or not. That's up to them. But I find it's a great method to have a few dog biscuits in your bag this time of year when you fish shallow. The method obviously is you can fish bomb over it. Sometimes people think they forget about when they come super shallow, and you know you can have these great fish. But the thing to remember is, you know, play to your audience. Like, the fish here that we've got are a bigger stamp, so they can take those bigger pellets. If you're fishing a venue where you're catching F1 shallow, then you really just need to be getting a jigger and just setting that so you can catch them shallow, because obviously F1s aren't going to be able to take those great big dog biscuits. But hope this has put a bit of an emphasis on to dog biscuits and floating baits, because I know they get a bad rap. But hopefully you've enjoyed it. Join us on the Facebook group and sort of ask any questions and see all the members on there. It's a great group. If you're a junkie for photos, go on the Instagram and join us on there, angling_for_you. Loads of tons of photos, tag us in anything you want, or even just have a look at the photos that we're putting on. But again, thanks for watching. Share and like and share with your friends, and I'll check you on the next one. Tight lines.